The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines prostitution as the act or practice of engaging in promiscuous sexual relations, especially for money. I have no personal connection to this issue, while I can see the logical arguments of proponents and opponents. I believe, as long as the act involves two consenting adults, that prostitution should be legalized. From the article, Should Prostitution Be Legalized? It is believed that, quote, if legal, prostitution would reduce crime, improve public health, increase tax revenue, help people out of poverty, get prostitutes off the streets, and it allows consenting adults to make their own decisions. These are just a few of the benefits. Some previously radical ideas, such as marriage equality and the legalization of medical and recreational marijuana, are now knocking at the door of normal. But yet, why is the oldest industry in America still considered radical? Laws against sex work actually help increase human sex trafficking. Quote, the criminalization of clients has not reduced trafficking or sex work, but has increased sex workers' vulnerability to violence, harmed HIV responses, and infringed on sex workers' rights. This is a quote from the United Nations General Assembly report. Working with sex workers instead of against will result in the rescuing of more sex slaves, because instead of being scared to go to the law, they will go for help without the consequences. Legalizing prostitution will also reduce the crime rate. There's a 45% to 75% chance of workplace violence for any prostitutes, and the violence is associated with sex works, and it is exaggerated when it's illegal. Violent people prey on sex workers, knowing that they won't report the acts to the police. Prostitutes also depend on their pimps for protection, which in the end result will lead to more violence. And when you're a prostitute, there's also a chance of police brutality. Legalizing prostitution will improve the quality of life for prostitutes and other sex workers. After Germany and New Zealand legalized prostitution, the violence against sex workers decreased and their quality of life improved. Prostitution will also help get people out of poverty. Legalizing prostitution will also increase our tax revenue. Once sex workers has a license, they could work at a brothel with a legal income tax at an appropriate rate. By legalizing the industry of prostitution, it starts to reduce the stigma surrounding prostitution, which will promote men and women to seek medical treatment while also boosting the economy, similar to what has happened in Colorado from the legalization of marijuana. Prostitution is arguably one of the oldest industries in America. Like Germany and New Zealand, if legalized, it will lead to a safer and more successful country.